And it's so funny because that is such a loaded question. And I was going to actually respond with how much time do you have? But when I get an escalated customer, the first thing I do is I don't call them escalated. I like to say they're feisty. With me, an apology goes a long way. The customer is right. I'm sorry. The customer may not be right. I'm sorry. They really want their feelings to be heard, and taking that time to listen to them without interrupting. And we're letting them know that we are working with them to get that best resolution that works for everyone.
I empathize. I don't sympathize. I empathize because empathy is important and it makes them feel like they're heard. And I listen to them. There's been countless times where I've gotten a caller and they're like, I'm not happy with the company, and they just, they attack me. And I'm just like, okay, all right. I'm sorry that's your experience. I want to help make it better. And by the end of the call, they're like, you know what? Thank you for listening. You didn't have to listen to me. And I'm like, it's so, hey, you're just having a day. We all have them. It's human to have those emotions. And when things aren't going your way and things aren't going right, you get frustrated, and that's okay.
So when working with angry customers, I think my biggest go-to is to make sure that I empathize with them. I can understand where they're coming from. If I was the customer on the other end, I can see where the frustration comes in at. So instead of continuing to hit on what has gone wrong throughout their process and their experience, I do the best to my ability of focusing on what we can fix moving forward.
What's funny is I find the first best practice is just to let them get it all out. Let them vent, finish, let them run out of air, basically. And then while they're doing that, of course, going through everything that they're saying, finding what I can verify, what I can't, and then have a little plan so that, okay, when they finally stop talking, I can jump in and say, okay, well, I can see this, that, and the other thing, but here's where I think the problem is.
It's definitely a balance. You have to listen and make sure that you're hearing them out. If you don't do that, that makes them angry, obviously. I mean, if they feel like they're not being understood. But you also don't want to, the balance part is you also have to be firm with our policy. So, sometimes what they want can't be done. So it's a balance of listening, understanding, but also being firm with what our policy is.
Escalated caller wants to be heard. They want to know that you listened to their problem, took it into consideration, and is going in the correct direction, or what they assume to be the correct direction and what they're looking for on that call.
Because if you're in an argument in your personal life, you're in an argument with your child or your partner or whatever, okay, whatever. I know that's what you said, but this is what I want to say. And sometimes it's hard to actually listen and not listen and formulate how you're going to answer. So, I mean, it sounds silly. Oh, just listen to them. But yeah, but can you listen to someone without sitting there and trying to think of how you're going to answer without letting them totally tell you what the problem is? I mean, that's hard. I mean, try to do it in your personal life when your kid's yelling at you or your spouse is not agreeing with you. Try to listen to what they're trying to say.